After what would pass for a disappointing season by measure of their own standards, Manchester City could be unstoppable next season. But winning the Community Shield at the genesis of last season, they walked out empty-handed. Welcome back to the Football Tribe UG channel. Robert Kesakos is your usual suspect. Thank you to all our new subscribers and community members who have helped us progress and grow in the last couple of months. Much appreciated for the love and support. Anyways, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing all matters Man City, because Manchester City are planning a squad overhaul over the course of the summer, with two players already confirmed that they will be definitely leaving the club. That is Kevin De Bruyne as well as Kyle Walker. In addition to that, Ederson Morales, the goalkeeper, is expected to leave. Bernardo Silva is expected to leave. Calvin Phillips, who spent last season on loan at Ipswich Town, is expected to leave the club. Ilkay Gundogan, John Stones, Mateo Kovacic, as well as Jack Grealish are the others expected to leave the club. Man City have already begun their squad rebuild, starting that work in January when they brought in Omar Mamouche from Eintracht Frankfurt for £59 million. That's for the 26-year-old Egyptian international, who went on to score 7 goals in 16 appearances in the Premier League, and that was between January and the end of the season. In addition to that, they did sign a young defender, 19 years of age, in Vitor Reyes from Palmeiras in Brazil for about €35 million. Not to stop at that, they also signed Uzbekistan international Kushanov from loans for about £33.6 million, and then also signed the 23-year-old Spanish central midfielder Nico Gonzalez from FC Porto for £50 million. So they were already on their way to a squad rebuild as they look to take out the old guard following a trophyless season. Now, Rodri did a return at the tail end of the season, and just that by itself, Rodri will be like a new signing to this Manchester City side. We all know what he's capable of. We know how he makes that Manchester City team tick. We know how he's a pivot in that midfield makes all the other players around him tick, especially going forward. We all know he's capable of scoring goals, match-winning goals, long-range strikes that were quite crucial as Manchester City won the treble in 2023, including scoring the winner in the UEFA Champions League final against Inter Milan. So, Rodri, after returning from that anterior cruciate ligament injury that he suffered back in October when they were facing against Arsenal in 2-2 draw at the Etihad Stadium, did return at the tail end of the season to feature in about 2 games. I think he will be like a new signing going into next season. Pep Guardiola looks forward to continue building his squad going into the summer. And when you look at some of the players that they are being linked with a potential move for, you can't help it but feel scared that they could come back and dominate the Premier League next season. I, for one, as an Arsenal fan, I must say that a part of me is concerned. A part of me feels that Man City, should they get it their way in the transfer window, then we could be in for a long season next year. Because starting in the goalkeeping position, they are targeting Espanyol goalkeeper Joan Garcia, who Arsenal also hold interest in, as well as Aston Villa, as well as Barcelona. Now, Arsenal were on the verge of signing Joan Garcia last season, but at the final stages of the transfer window, failed to land the services of the Spanish goalkeeper. Now, the situation was that Arsenal needed to move on Aaron Ramsdale before they could sign Joan Garcia. Arsenal eventually moved on Aaron Ramsdale late on in the window to Southampton, and when they went to sign Joan Garcia, they were only offering €20 million, €5 million less of his release clause at Espanyol, and Espanyol turned down that offer. So much so to the anguish of Edu. They had to rush and get Neto on loan from Bournemouth. While they got that deal done, it left a sour grape in Joan Garcia, who, according to his agent, says he was devastated because the move failed to go through. The player and the club had already agreed to personal terms in principle, waiting for the clubs to come to terms on payment terms or transfer fees before a move could happen. So there was that bit of disappointment. This season, he's been arguably one of the best goalkeepers in the Spanish La Liga. So Man City are targeting him as a potential replacement for Ederson Morales. That scares me if they are to get him. At left back, they are targeting a 23-year Algerian international, Ryan Artnori of Wolverhampton Wanderers, who scored 4 goals this season and provided 7 assists. A very, very brilliant player, just getting in his prime. Ryan Artnori. He started as many as 37 Premier League games last season. That's consistency. That's availability. That scares me. Beyond that, they are looking at Newcastle left back Tino Livramento, only 22 years of age, the England international who only managed 1 assist in 37 Premier League games. Now, his goal contribution, of course, sounds concerning, but if there is any manager out there that can turn a promising player into a brilliant star, is Pep Guardiola. We've seen what he's done with Phil Foden. We saw what he did with Cole Palmer. Not so much so because he didn't stay there for long. And then he signed on to Chelsea, but we've seen what Cole Palmer has been able to do at Chelsea. And then we've seen what he was able to do with the likes of Raheem Sterling. Never mind that Raheem Sterling, joined Man City when he was already star, but he was improved while there. So we saw what he did with Leroy Sané. We saw what he did with Alexander Zinchenko. So it is no doubt that he can improve Tino Livramento into a much, much better player, should they be able to sign him this summer. At the base of midfield, or in the central midfield, or in that number 8 role, Manchester City are looking to sign Tijan Reinders. That's the 26-year-old Dutch international who plays for AC Milan in Italy. Now, it is believed that it could cost Manchester City anywhere between 60 to about 75 million euros, although it is reported that AC Milan want up to 80 million euros to let go of Tijan Reinders, who has also been linked with a potential move to Real Madrid, before Real Madrid turned their attention to Stuttgart's Angel Stiller. So, Manchester City looking at Tijan Reinders, a very, very brilliant Dutch midfielder, 26 years of age. That's his prime. 10 goals and 4 assists in 37 appearances in the Italian Serie A last season. That was quite impressive. Never mind that AC Milan finished 8th on the Italian Serie A table. But for me, that scares me. The thought of that scares me. Manchester City have approached Lyon over the potential signing of 21-year-old Ryan Cherki from Lyon. He did reveal that he will be leaving Lyon at the end of the season, and Manchester City have approached the club to see the conditions of a potential deal with Lyon, and it is believed it could cost anywhere between 12 to 20 million pounds to get Ryan Cherki. Ryan Cherki, very, very good French attacking midfielder slash left-footed winger. Very brilliant on the ball. Manchester United know a thing or two about this guy. We saw him against Manchester United in the quarterfinals of the UEFA Europa League. In the French League 1, he scored 8 goals and a goal contribution of 19 in 30 games. And at only 21 years of age, you can only speculate what there is he has to offer going forward in the future. Very, very brilliant young player. Ryan Cherki, being linked with a potential move to Chelsea, been mentioned in the conversations of Manchester United after that impressive performance at Manchester United in the quarterfinals. Arsenal have sort of been wishful, but it's more from the fan side as opposed to sources inside the club that they would consider signing him. That scares me with Man City. Beyond that, they also have on their list Morgan Gibbs-White, 25-year-old English international who plays for Nottingham Forest. Morgan Gibbs-White, one of the most consistent players in that Nottingham Forest team this season. That was the resurgent season for them, because last season, that was 2023-2024, they finished 17th on the Premier League table, and yet they flipped that into a 7th place finish this season and qualified for the UEFA Conference League. Morgan Gibbs-White was pivotal to that side, including Chris Wood, the likes of Anthony Elanga, as well as Cam Hudson-Odoi, Nikola Milinkovic in that centre-back role, alongside Moriro, Ola Aina on the other side, Matt Sells in goal. They've been quite brilliant. But Morgan Gibbs-White has been one of the standout number 10s in the Premier League this season. He went on to score 7 goals and provided 8 assists in 34 Premier League appearances. That's a 15-goal contribution. Okay, there can only be room for improvement when you're playing behind a player like Omar Mamush, Braut Erling Haaland, who we all know very, very brilliant goal scorers. So when you look at Manchester City's wish list in as far as transfers are concerned, and that's just tip of the iceberg. Of course, they pulled out of the race to sign Florian Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen because they deemed that deal to be too expensive. They deemed that the player is being overpriced. While they had the upper hand in comparison to Bayern Munich, with whom they were rivaling for the 22-year-old German international, Manchester City pulled out of the race when they learned that Bayer Leverkusen were only willing to listen to offers in the region of 130 to 150 million euros. Now, since they pulled out of the race, left Bayern Munich in, the player turned down Bayern Munich and told Liverpool he will be open to joining them. And now Liverpool are entangled in negotiations between them and Bayer Leverkusen to try and find an agreement for a transfer fee of the German international. Now, because they pulled out of that, that in itself was already scary for some of us that have seen Florian Wirtz play. A 22-old goal contribution this season as well as last season. Last season, he scored 11 goals, provided 11 assists. This season, he scored 10 goals and provided 12 assists. Quite a brilliant player. Now, usually when a young German player is in the mix of the conversation with a potential transfer, oftentimes the destination is Bayern Munich. But this one turned down Bayern Munich to say, if I'm leaving Bayer Leverkusen, I'd rather go to Liverpool. Will Liverpool get their man? Chances are increasingly likely that they will get their man. But at Man City, the thought of him joining Man City already scaring the hell out of us. And yet, the replacements they've lined up in Morgan Gibbs-White, in Ryan Cherki, are already equally as scary. There's been speculation linking Rodrigo Goes with the potential move to Man City, although the new head coach in Xabi Alonso says Rodrigo Goes is a very good player that he would like to keep. Let's wait and see where the summer ends. But wherever it ends, if Man City do get their primary wish list checked out, then next season they could be unstoppable. They've already made additions to their squad in January. Omar Mamush, Kushano, Nico Gonzalez, already brilliant players. We saw Nico Gonzalez score that goal against Bournemouth in a 3-1 victory. We've seen Omar Mamush, quite a brilliant player. Kushano, brilliant player. So, with Pep Guardiola starting his rebuild, we could be in for a long season next season. I'm not saying that they will win it, but they could be unstoppable. They could be a very, very difficult team. Let's wait and see what others do in the market. But Man City, with that transfer wish list, if they tick all their boxes and sign all those players, we could be in for a long, long Pep Guardiola resurgence with Man City. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section. And let's have the conversation, the engagement. But while you're at it, do not forget to click to leave a like on this video, to leave a comment, but also share the video in case you enjoyed it. Otherwise, let's expand the debate in the comment section. See you guys. For now, do not forget to subscribe. Robert Kesakos is your user suspect. I'll see you next time. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.